Valley of Death.
They said the Red Army would reach the Rhine in 7 days, but nobody told NATO to roll over and die.
This is the map.
We are to cross the border and take 4 objectives within 2 hours. Based on terrain analysis, these are the suspected enemy positions.
Force composition.
Here you can see I plan on placing tanks in overwatch positions, as well as putting a BMP reconnaissance unit up on the hill. My engineers will breach any obstacles as my mechanized infantry assaults the town. On the left side of the map, plow tanks and engineers will clear any minefields and obstacles. We will then use dismounted mechanized infantry to clear out the forest covering the road. Then I will be able to move my armor up to phase line 1, as well as move my reconnaissance unit into position. The good news is it's still dawn, so visibility isn't very high. We will open up with artillery smoke screens and suppression fire, as well as some cluster munition strikes on the hill that I believe might have tow missiles. I want to wait a little while for the enemy's reaction before I call in my first airstrikes and helicopter cast runs. I want the enemy's tanks to come out to play before we unleash them, you know?
We are now entering Germany.
These types of Soviet attacks where your opponent has the superior reconnaissance is really not my cup of tea. And I would be lying to you if I said this was my first attempt. It's more like my third. But the cool thing about this game is the enemies go by different plans, I think, each time you play it. So, like, last time I played it, I encountered the enemy's recon in a different area. And here goes my BMP reconnaissance unit on the right side of the map getting up on that hill. And then my mechanized infantry and my engineers are moving up to start pushing into this town on the right side of the map. Now by this point I'm a little bit thrown off because before, the last time I played this mission, the enemy's armored cavalry was on the right side, and I put smoke over there with my mortars, but this time they're not there. So we're about to find out why that is here in just a minute. And there they are. Now luckily they haven't spotted my Overwatch tank or my BMP recon unit, but they are crowding the hill and they are firing down into my mech as they try and dismount, which is probably the most contention I've had assaulting this town in all of my tries so far. Like I said, this is like my third try. Now here's an interesting thing. Those 14.5 millimeter heavy machine guns, those should be able to pin those M114s no problem. I'm pretty sure, you know, from what I've been able to look up. Okay, now we've found some enemy infantry over here in this tall building, so I'm about to call in some mortars on it, and something took out the BTR. Those BTRs are pretty squishy when you get them up there in the assault. I know that's doctrine to keep them kind of nearby to help support the Soviet assault, but they just can't really, you know, the sides are so thin, they can't really take anything. Even the 50 cals will take them out. And then over here on the left side, I've mistakenly gotten a little bit too close to the minefield, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just one of the engineer's trucks. And now the assault has begun. As you can see, you can actually move through the buildings, building to building. You don't actually have to clear the minefield to get infantry into this little town. Okay, and now I'm trying to, over here on the left side of the map, I'm using my plow tank to try and clear a path. And here goes an ATGM trying to get that armored cav on the right side of the map, and he just can't seem to hit a damn thing. Luckily the tank goes ahead and takes him out. Calling in some more mortars. Now we've encountered enemies on the left side of the map on this forest we're trying to clear out so that we can move up the road safely. And really cool thing happened. The BTRs were actually given supporting fire, so that was pretty cool. And now that I've taken the town on the right side of the map, really I just need to hold it until that timer comes up, and then the enemy scout helicopters come up and they get just torn to shreds. My anti-aircraft that I moved up and put in those tall buildings, they just start shooting at them. And then something takes out my tank, probably a Sheridan. There's that plucky little bastard. That Overwatch tank takes him out here in just a minute. And here are some Sheridans coming in to counterattack the town, but by now I've already garrisoned it well enough. You'll see here in just a second. And there goes an ATGM actually hitting something dope. Now I already had this hill zeroed in for whenever they would try to counterattack me, and I'm not sure if it killed anything or not, but I thought that was pretty close. Anyways, this guy makes it through, but I mean by now he's pretty much fucked. There's no infantry supporting him, it's just tanks charging in alone. You'll see I didn't set my hard target range to effective or to like 200 meters so it would be more accurate. So like a lot of these RPGs are just missing, but it didn't really matter in the end. Yeah, this guy's just walking to his doom. Now this appears to be an ATGM kill if you look closely. Enemy tank dies, but it doesn't show up on the kill feed, so I have no idea what just happened there. It's possible it just disappeared. And then we're starting to get into some close-up fighting. Grenades are being thrown. It's just a melee over here for this forest covering the road over here. But luckily, like I said, these BTRs are providing support fire. It's pretty much Soviet doctrine, I guess. Here comes my airstrikes, kind of coordinated all at the same time. I thought that was really cool. The thing about these running fires is I just couldn't seem to get the camera on them in time to get them launching their munitions, so that kind of bummed me out. And over here on the left flank, I'm just kind of inching up through the forest, trying to get these damn landmines pushed away. And there goes my airstrike landing. I was trying to hit a little bit lower than that. I wanted to hit where their tow missiles are firing at me from. But, you know, more action on the left side of the map. Things are going pretty smoothly over here. I mean, some of my guys got hit with grenades, but I mean, this is close combat up in here, so what can you really expect? Those guys are so fucked. Now, T-62s really shouldn't be used alone because they're not very accurate, especially out to like 1.5 or 2 kilometers. Here goes another ATGM shot that I followed all the way from firing to missing as usual. I'm now putting some man pads up in these tall buildings to kind of cover my units as they battle it out for this town over here. But they've mostly defeated the enemy's little counterattack. Now I'm more focused on these guys over here. I want to call in mortars on them, but it's danger close, so I cut it out, but I had to do a shitload of micro there. It's almost like some Vietnam-style jungle warfare going on with this little forest battle. It's pretty cool. And here goes my recon unit on the left side of the map getting off a shot. The enemy airstrikes, enemy phantoms coming in and firing at us. It was largely ineffective. And I think we destroyed one of them there. Fucked him up good enough to where he's not coming back at least. Something that got cut out mostly is that my units, you can see over here, they're getting kind of battered. I thought this would be a really good spot because I could see really well kind of across the battlefield over here on the left. But I really should have screened with a little bit of infantry. I should have sent some guys on foot up to kind of like, you know, probe a little bit. But you know, I didn't think they would see my BMP straight through the forest. And that's something that irritates me about some of these campaign missions, right? They only give you 2 little sections of 2 BMP scout units for this entire assault. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, and if you think about it, like, oftentimes infantry squads would have like little 2-man security teams that they could send off, kind of like you would do in other games like Combat Mission. You don't have that in this game. So whenever I set up my own scenarios, I give myself and the AI lots of scout units to kind of make it a bit more realistic and give you that like screen of probing so that, you know, you have less surprises, and it makes that initial fight a lot more interesting in my opinion. Now here I am kind of pushing up past that phase line, which was something I shouldn't have done, but since I was doing so well, I kind of got tunnel vision. I tend to do that sometimes. Like I said, this is like my main weakness, doing these sort of like Soviet assaults where you're just supposed to use force and break through with like brute force. Like, that's really not my style. Yeah, I would rather have less units and better reconnaissance. You can see I've just been battering the shit out of that hell, trying to destroy their TOW missiles. I don't know if I ever did, but I mean, this battle over here on the left went decent, all things considered. I did end up losing some armor over here, but like I said, all things considered, it went decent. And then I'm trying to move up a tank over here on the right side just to kind of poke around and see if I can kill any leftover M114s that are scouting. And I want to poke my recon unit and my tank on the right side of the map kind of up over that hill. So that's what I'm trying to do, but I'm getting hit with artillery, and the engineers that I sent forward to clear the way, they got ambushed by something. I don't know what, because I couldn't see it yet. But that's pretty much it for this first phase of the battle. I'm not really disappointed with it. I wish I hadn't got tunnel vision and pushed too far on the left side of the map without coordinating. I'm really spread thin, but trying to do both sides of the map, you know. But like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll get part 2 out here pretty soon.